These are poems that really mean a lot to me because they talk a lot about who I am. And as an artist, doing my poetry is a way of sharing myself with you. So that I can still share myself with Baba. So let me just start. Young man, words are powerful. Early morning, 4th grade. Fingers half frozen like rigor mortis. Winter is a passionate kiss. My synapses exploded with images as my gullible mind was taken with the possibility of this new revelation. I imagined words stumbling forth out of stuttering lips, heavily pregnant with power, just begging to deliver. Like if I said it right, if I whispered to this pencil, get up, it would rise and promptly begin to fill my homework and promptly begin to fill my pages with homework I should have done last night. While I keep trying to resuscitate my fingers in the space between my butt cheeks and my chair. But mellifluous words soon pierce my daydream like pixels on a black screen, illuminating imagery. Messed up Rumba's deep baritone was spinning the class with poetry, lighting imaginary bonfires over the permafrost of my imagination's government-style barren landscape. He showed me the true beauty of winter that morning. My fingers disagreed. What, nigga? They're feeling from Ja, the double beans. Scorching sun, 7th grade. Clenched fist, ready to deliver when my cerebral cortex was ablaze with electrochemical impulses. Adrenaline, fight, flight, still believing with all my heart and none of my fingers that words really are powerful. And if I said the right ones, I could compel this left fist to strike and win. And so, punch, I whispered. Post-traumatic stress won't let me detail. All I know is that it entails me getting my ass handed to me on a plate like, hey, dinner son, along with my entrails. I mean, don't get me wrong, my body was fine. It's just that I was shattered. You see, all along I'd come to believe that the power of words extended to the physical. Like with the right words, I could David this Goliath right now. And I forgive you for thinking I'm stupid, because honestly, I'm starting to think that maybe I was. But I couldn't help it, you see, because I went to Sunday school. And they told me that we're made in the image of God and that God spoke and it was. And if God spoke and it was, why couldn't I speak and it be? They say God's word is sharper than a double-edged sword. I mean, hey, I'm not trying to go for a sword. I would have been fine with a butter knife. Anything to chop the spoon for socking me. But as he continued to whoop my ass, he was extinguishing those bonfires of my mind's imaginary landscape. And all he could leave was a permafrost, like bad icing on a really bad cake. What's wrong with you? You're stupid. Right now you're just like your mother. Useless. Evening twilight, the 14th year. Fingers hugging tightly on the broom trying to execute a chore. My amygdala erupted with emotion fierce enough to bury Pompeii. I stood in the agony of silence and bore witness as her words. My stepmother tore right through me like I was in a pool of barbed wire. And I hurt for the longest time after. And every time I thought about her, the air would begin to constrict and bob around me till nothing could soothe me, just cutting me deeper. But that was until I picked up a paper and I began to paint it with the contents of my amygdala, and it eased me. The 4th grade morning class. It said that it's often victims of evil that become its greatest performance. And in time my tongue grew sharp. And everybody knows that when your tongue is a razor, every word is a cut. And so I cut and I diced like a chef, cooking resentment till it was readily served me. And bon appetit, of course the next meal was my friends deserting me. And I would have thought that Emily would have stayed. But that taught me that no girl could ever last being treated like an everlast. And so I was back to where I started, standing in the agony of silence, bearing witness as my loneliness cannibalized what remained of my barbed wire encased heart. I had rediscovered the true power of words that day. But all I had to hold was a broom and unfinished chores. Dude, words are powerful. Fluorescent tube versus dark of night, the 16th year. Fingers gripping red pen over white paper. My neocortex was beginning to warm up to the idea that words need not only be weapons. I mean, what if they were more? What if they could ease pain like panado for the soul? Like needles laced with love could stitch back torn hearts to make a whole. Burn hot enough to reignite a burnt out coal. Illuminate with heat what was once cold. You see, because because I had opened the Bible and found myself in the midst of words that bring healing. And if Sunday school was right that we are made in His image, then maybe my words too could bring healing. You see, I'm yet to make cripples walk, and I doubt I'll ever make the blind see. But I still cut words and cook poems and serve them like soul food. And for a lack of hands, maybe these words could hold you. If you're hurting, maybe they could be there to console you. So though my tongue stays sharp, my words have become seeds. And with every conversation I attempt to plant life. And in the end, with a red pen on white paper, all I can do is only quote that the tongue has the power of life and death. And those that make friends with it shall eat of its fruit. Thank you.